ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MSTV. We have you today is, I don't know how to explain this guy, but he is quite everything, right? So this is Mr. Brian Frugtniet. Would you like to maybe tell us about yourself and of course tell the public as well who you are?
What can I say? I'm semi-retired now and I've been in a lot of different business. And I'm looking forward to traveling a lot this year.
Right, okay. So Brian, from entrepreneur to the judicial system, as well as, I don't know if you have done some kind of a government stuff, like any sensitive dealings with the government?
In the past, many years back, yes, I used to do a lot of stuff for the defense departments and so on.
And would you, is there any chance that you might be able to go back to that kind of dealings with the government, or you would just want to retire now?
Well, I think there's something that might happen this year. Yes, there's something in the pipeline at the moment, and might be doing something.
Actually, looking at your Facebook, I could see that you are really intensely involved when it comes to global economic downfall. You're following Donald Trump. You are more into judicial system. What do you think right after COVID? Is there anything that is under surface at the moment that people doesn't know or not aware?
I think people are now becoming aware that we've been all subjected to a big hoax over all these years, and there's a lot of damage that has happened to many businesses. There's so much uncertainty that has been created because of that.
You mean a tsunami is coming up?
I believe that we still can be impacted this year, globally, economically. I'm hoping it won't happen, but there are good chances to be prepared for it.
So in terms of that, Brian, where do you actually get your research? I mean, are you a visionary that you could see what's ahead of you or ahead of us, actually?
No, I read a lot, and I try to read things where it's got a lot of merit, the people, the authors are all well known and recognized and that kind of person. It must be credible information.
All right. Right after COVID, there's a lot of, well, I would like to divert into the legal system. Don't you think that after COVID, there were so many rises when it comes to the properties? How do you think the public suffered from that?
I think it was horrendous for many people. There was about 12 or 13 interest rate rises in 1 year, and I think it damaged a lot of people because they were also living in times where they had job uncertainty, and at the same time, all this wonderful money the country has, the taxpayers' money, the governments or the Reserve Bank, I believe, gave about $188 billion for the banks to distribute amongst themselves to help this type of industry. And I think the banks and their investors and shareholders help themselves to it. I can't see anybody I haven't met any people who have been helped as yet.
Right. You mean to say that Reserve Bank, that is from the public's money? Meaning to say that not just us, but our children's children will also be paying that?
Well, 188 billion, when you take taxpayers' money and you just give it to the big banks, and the banks basically, they're the people who are running the country, the show, at the end of the day. And them and the elite investors and corporations, big corporations are probably, they're behind a lot of things that government, people working in the government are basically puppets. Well, take a look at COVID, how they all stood up there every day and said so many people just dropped dead here and dropped dead there, and everybody to rush to car parks and get these injections. And then when don't worry, everything will be over after you take your second shot. Then comes the booster, and they want more boosters, and they want more boosters, and it goes on. It's all a con job. And all it's absolutely ignorant people will be elected, these who are running the show. The whole thing has got to change, I think. You really got to put people with real credible people with integrity into government and into the court system and into enforcement anywhere in the world. Because they've got one paymaster and they all look after each other. They all believe each other. And I think there are a lot of people shafted all over in the prisons and all that globally. Take a look at America. That nonsense which they call insurrection. If that's a bloody insurrection, I don't know. That was just a riot that got out of hand. That's about all that was. How could you call it an insurrection? And then they jailed so many people for 15 and 20 years because they went into a place where these politicians are. But the politicians and the government has forgotten that house, the Congress, the Parliament, it belongs to the people. It's taxpayers' money that they're all in there. These people are basically parasites when I look at them,
Well, the people actually voted for them to be in that position.
Well, that's the system.
Yeah.
That is the system.
Is there anything that we can change in terms of, having, voting the right person?
Well, the days of putting these pictures, on
Some
in
people's
people's
houses.
yards or knocking on the door and kissing babies and all that, that's not good enough. I think you've got to inspect their resumes, to see how much they have actually worked for the community, true work, without pay and all that. These are dedicated people. These are the people, and if they've got the intelligence as well, you've got to see that these are the people I would like to, and business people. You got, at the end of the day, running a country, you want the smartest business people, but honest ones. You don't want the crooks. You want really honest ones with integrity, but they must have business knowledge and experience behind them. Put them in, because that's how you run a country.
Yeah. Well, we put that together. I mean, politician is one thing, but when it comes to legal system, the judges has more power actually, because they are the ones that make the determinations whether you are guilty or not. What do you think? Is there any other chance that we can find a system, change the system where they would use their comprehension, logic sometimes? Because I find it very difficult.
The only thing I can see exactly, it's very difficult the way the thing is right now. It's designed in a way where once they're appointed for life. So if you know you've got a job tomorrow, whether the business goes up or down, but your job is always there, your mind's going to be different, right? So that's number one. Number two, I think it's always important, especially the judges who do jobs where they put people they incarcerate people.
Yes.
They only read textbooks. That's about all. They haven't been on the other side of the fence and experienced what they're doing. They're destroying people's lives forever, sometimes over nothing. My feeling is, if ever they have basically driven a case or done something wrong that some innocent people have suffered, and it can be proven that the judge was biased or hostile or was racist or whatever, then I think this is why I think there has got to be another system where, if that is ever discovered, it was all, they simply use the words, oh, that was just a miscarriage of justice.
So you're trying to say that if that's the case, you want the person who gave that judgment accountable.
Yes, all the parties involved that sent an innocent person into jail somewhere, and if it's ever discovered, it was they intentionally did the certain things, or they withheld exculpatory evidence and so on. Even if there's an iota of that, then that whole lot should be rounded up, and that sentence that the innocent person's life was damaged forever, we take you lot and damage you as well. Throw them into prison and throw them into the mainstream where they can be amongst real people there. Let's see how they will survive. These are just cowards, these people who went, One person went and became an engineer, another person became a doctor, the other person just went to law school and now has got so much power, not even elected by people, and has got power to put people and lock them up. That's nonsense. See what they're doing? I told you with this insurrection bullshit in the United States at the moment. They made a circus out of the justice system there. People who understand a bit are just laughing at them. Do they call that real a Supreme Court and all that, whatever they're doing there?
It's like a circus.
It is a circus with a big bunch of clowns, but no, it's not a laughing matter. They have taken, people, and they had a right to riot or be angry. Of course, don't use violence, but sometimes when you push people, people will behave that way. So you don't incarcerate them like that. I mean, if they had guns and bombs and machine guns and things and all, that's a dangerous person to have around. But these people, I didn't see a single machine gun or anything like that with someone walking around and you call it an insurrection. You've got to be kidding me, You're kidding yourself, anyone who uses those words.
So if there's a person that could change, can turn the world around now, because there's so many things going on, from Russia to the neighboring countries. Now there's Israel, there's all these things happening. If there is one person who is brave enough to overturn all this situation, who would it be?
That's Donald Trump. He's the only one who can set things right again, because the economics of all the countries, we have been globally damaged at the moment with all the lockdowns, the children not being able to go to school. Look at the damage they've done. This nonsense that has happened. Yes.
Do you think there's another wave, a bigger wave, that you think people that are not aware that it's just undercurrent at the moment, that it will just explode like a tsunami?
This is my only concern right now, that what happened in the 2020 election, just before the election, the virus came out. So
yeah,
that,
but
right?
people are not buying this, I think, anymore.
Yes, but now in China, they have now developed this virus to actually, be fatal. When people get it, it's fatal.
Fatal means that
You die.
will be
More
on the
deaths,
spot.
more deaths. It won't take long and you're dead. So you don't need vaccines or anything at all. Because they know people are not going to take the bogus vaccines and all that rubbish anymore.
Well, for me, this is like injustice to, not just in, individual countries, but globally. How do we change this? How do we defeat this madness?
Well, as I said before, now I think people have woken up. Even people who took these vaccines and things, who have fallen ill and they're sick and they're having to go to the pharmacy to buy different medicines for different issues now that's coming out of their body. They're all waking up and they think, oh my goodness, what have we been subjected to? And Donald Trump is the first person who came and exposed to the world about these corrupt politicians and fake media.
So you're saying that Donald Trump never took the vaccine?
I was not present, so I can't say that, right? But it's about the vaccine. I think many people because they were compelled. If not, they can't earn any money, they can't travel, they can't host a little event. Yes. They have no food on their table. So can you see, that was wrong what was done. And then they printed these certificates like vaccine passports, everyone was carrying around with them. What a load of bloody bullshit. If ever the time comes, I wish we can, if the boosters are stored somewhere, when all this world the people are rounded up who are responsible for all this, we can take these boosters and give it all to them with our compliments.
Right. So Brian, this conversation is so intense.
Yeah.
Now I would like to maybe explore more of what are the plans very soon. Is there any plans that you would like to maybe retire in some other countries, and which countries and why?
Personally, I've had enough and seen enough what's happened and lived through it all. I'm tired of all this madness where you see this road rage and you see, all the problems coming. So I've been thinking very much about one of those islands in the Philippines. They got 7,000 islands there. Yeah?
So at least one
Of
time.
settling down in a nice island and enjoying some good, clean food and everything,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Well, Brian, we would like to congratulate you in advance for planning that, and we are so glad that you are choosing Philippines aside from another countries. I would expect that you would love to go to America because you are a big fanatic of Donald Trump. However, you want to have your pina colada in one of the islands in the Philippines. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This is MSTV, Mayor Rosa Lubre, and Brian, thank you for this amazing interview. Hopefully that we could be more of empower others, and again, hopefully that during the election we will try and vote for the right person.